back to Studio One, where we are having a very interesting discussion with the Minister for the Province of Ontario, the Minister of Government Services, MPP Harinder S. Thakkar. Harinder Bhai, ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਨਿੱਘਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਅਸਲਾਮ ਅਲੈਕਮ ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਐਂਡ ਐਵਰੀਥਿੰਗ ਐਲਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ 4 ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰੀਆਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਮੈਨੇਜ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹੋ ਹਰਿੰਦਰ ਭਾਈ there are 4 ministries that you manage so far. So I believe that you are the minister with maximum experience of various ministries. But the latest one, government services. Tell us what this government services does. I believe it's a big ministry and you can cut off anybody's power at any time. But what the Ontarians have to thank you for, and especially in the GTA, is the high occupancy vehicle lane, HOV lane. So tell us about the ministry.
Ministry of Government Services, actually, I look at it in 2 ways. What we do work inside the government and the work that we do outside the government. Inside the government, actually, I have 2 deputy ministers. I think this is the only ministry that has 2 deputy ministers. So one deputy minister actually, in my responsibility looks after 3 basically things. One is the human resources in the Ontario Public Service. We have 65,000 Ontario public servants. Technically, they are all employees of this ministry, even though they are assigned to other ministries. So we look after all the human resources policies. The second part is the procurement. We set up all the policies for the procurement for the government. So that's about $5 billion worth of procurement that we do. And the third is the information system. The information system is what really drives, how we provide services to the people and how we run our businesses inside. So this inside part, we say we are government of the government. Right? We set the policies which the other ministries follow. The other side of the business, which is really, very close to my heart, is the Service Ontario, where people actually go and get, some other services. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਰਾਈਵਰ ਲਾਇਸੈਂਸ ਰਿਨਿਊ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੈਲਥ ਕਾਰਡ ਲੈਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਫਿਸ਼ਿੰਗ ਲਾਇਸੈਂਸ ਲੈਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਲੈਂਡ ਰਜਿਸਟ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ. All those services we provide under the Service Ontario umbrella. So there's one deputy minister that looks after that. So that is very keen to my heart because, the government is in the business of providing services. If they see that we can provide good services, they think the government is working. If people have to stand up in the lineups and it's a long waits, then people think there's something wrong with the government. And some of these services we actually provide through private people. We have 300 offices across Ontario. 2/3, which is 200, actually are private offices. 100 is the government offices. So in the last few years, what we have done is try to make easier for people how they can get services from the government. Like ਤੁਹਾਡਾ health card ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ expire ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ driver license ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ expire ਹੁੰਦਾ. Driver license renew ਕਰਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਇੱਕ ਦਫ਼ਤਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਸੀ. Health card renew ਕਰਾਉਣ ਲਈ
Now everything is under one roof.
Now everything is under one roof. And we are moving towards the direction that these documents should expire on the same day.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. But rather than, ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ driver license renew ਕਰਾਉਣ ਜਾਓ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਕਰਾਓ. And we are also going to move towards the fact by actually, if we can find a way to do it, by all family documents should expire the same day.
ਮੈਂ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣੀ ਹੈ ਹਰਿੰਦਰ ਭਾਈ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਦਿਲ 'ਚ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੈ that is when you said ਕਿ it is important about a government what a person on the street thinks.
ਹਾਂਜੀ.
What a person on the street is comfortable, then the government has done its job.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, you're one of the most successful South Asian politicians that I can name today in the province of Ontario, as much as a successful professional yourself and business entrepreneur and everything else. But when it comes to the satisfaction, I'm proud to say here that between 2003 and 2007, your vote bank increased by 7,000 votes in the Mississauga-Arundel riding. Why is it that other South Asian politicians have not been able to follow you or to exactly perform the similar way, especially when we talk about the province of Ontario?
मेरा ख्याल है जी भाई देखो every politician has their own way of doing things, right? They said politics is all local, right? You need to connect with the people and you need to do what people wants you to do things. So, when I run my campaign, I believe the best thing to do is actually go and meet people.
Right.
Right? So, in my last campaign, I had the opportunity to actually I go knock doors myself every day. And I had the opportunity to actually do my riding 3 times. Like every house, we have been 3 times to the door.
So they know who you are.
And they know who you are, they need to see your face, and you also need to hear from them what their concerns are. I mean, it's not just go and knock the doors,
Right.
It's not everybody is happy, but you need to hear from them, what some of those things are, and then go back and try to, I mean, you're not going to deliver everything they want either, but at least you need to hear their concerns, take those views back to your government and see what you can do to address some of those issues.
ਮੇਰਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਮਕਸਦ ਵੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ when they are starting their political career, ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦੇਣਾ ਮਿਸਿਸਾਗਾ ਦੀ। ਇਨ ਦ ਮਿਸਿਸਾਗਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੌਂਸਲ ਦੇ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ ਹੁਣੇ ਪਿਛਲੇ 2-3 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ, there were at least 12 South Asians who were running for various seats, and 4 out of those with absolutely no public office experience ran for and contested for the mayor seat. ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਿ ਬਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਇੱਕ ਸਮਾਲ ਸਟੈਪ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰੀਏ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਿੱਖੀਏ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਐਂਟਰ ਹੋਈਏ, ਲੋਕੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਣ ਮਿਲਣ, and then we go on. Examples like yourselves are there.
No, actually you are absolutely right, and I have been saying the same to the people, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ election ਲੜਨੀ ਹੈ, we should actually prepare them. Prepare them, they need to do some work in the community. Community needs to get to know them. I was involved in the Cradle Valley Hospital. I was involved in the United Way. I was involved in the Indo-Canada Punjabi Chamber of Commerce. You need to do something in the community so the community can see that you're doing in the mainstream. Right? You're not just going to represent your community. You're going to represent everybody.
Exactly. Your community is every community.
Yeah, every community, right? And so you need to show them that you have done something worthwhile in the community before you actually started going for the higher offices.
Of course.
I mean, there's no shortcuts.
There's
no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts.
And talking about the successes, I just mentioned in the beginning that there was the HOV lanes. Tell us about HOV lanes. Like everybody who drives on the 401 or on the 403 and QE and all these areas must thank you for doing that. How did this idea come from, and how did you do that?
Actually, HOV lanes, I think, is not a new concept, let me be very frank, right? It has been in the US, it has been everywhere. So we thought if we're going to improve congestion and we want to take more roads, I want to encourage people to actually start carpooling. We need to give them some incentive. So we introduced the HOV lanes. It was a controversial at that point of time. Somebody starts saying it's the Takhar lanes. Right?
Yeah, which is a big honor.
I know, but that was in a negative connotation at that point of time. I think what it is we wanted to encourage people to start carpooling. So if there's a HOV lane, and if you have 2 or more drivers, passengers in the car, you can take a special lane. It takes you faster, right, to your destination. Actually, it has helped the taxi drivers a lot.
Yeah.
It has given them an opportunity to do 1 more fare a day, right? And 1 more fare today could mean $100.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
So they are very, very thankful from that point of view. The other things that we also tried to do was to improve the safety on the roads as well.
Of course, and this also gives an opportunity, not an opportunity, लेकिन होता कि कि जब किसी ने अपनी बीवी को नहीं भी लेके जाना होता सी नाल होने लेके जाता होगा।
But that's good.
कि जी ऐसी 2 होंगे आप तो ऐसी HOV lane ते चले जाओगे. That is right.
Yeah.
अच्छा, one more thing that I wanted to ask you before we cut to our first break here. Federal election ਦਾ ਵੀ time ਆਇਆ ਹੈ.
ਹਾਂਜੀ.
ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ writing ਹੈ, that is one of the, on a federal level, that is one of the 50 ridings to be watched.
And
ਕੀ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਹੋ ਕੀ ਰਿਹਾ ਉੱਥੇ?
Actually, my feeling is, in my mind, this is a liberal riding.
Yeah.
Right? There are a lot of liberals in there. We need to get them out and get them to vote. One chance is, one thing is you identify liberals. The other thing is to actually ask them to come and vote.
Right.
Sometimes people take it granted you're going to win anyway, so they don't come out. But I think we need to convince them. It is important. Look at what is happening in the Middle East. People are fighting to get right to vote. Here we got the right to vote, and we need to tell them this is important for you to come and vote. And vote for the candidate that you really believe in, who has your values.
Correct.
Right? So I personally feel there are a lot of liberals out there, and we want to get them out to make sure they vote for the liberal candidate who can win.
ਇਹਦੀ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਜੇ people just like me, we come from the countries and communities and societies which are, and I have a term for this, I say democratically challenged countries, ਕਿ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਡੈਮੋਕ੍ਰੇਸੀ ਜੇ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ nobody follows it properly. So ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਸੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਜੀ politics is nobody's business. Don't go close to politics, it's not clean, it's dirty. ਇੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਈਏ, ਇੱਥੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਜੀ politics is everybody's business. So that transition takes a little bit of time, and I think.
Bharti, that's true, but maybe we need to educate people. But on the other hand, they should also see it is a privilege, it is an honor actually to have that right to vote. Because we can't just complain. If you know, there's no idea of complaining and say, you know, this guy is not doing this or that guy isn't doing that or this government isn't done that. Have your voice, right? And the only way you can have your voice is actually go out there and vote the person that you really believe in. And I think our values are very close to liberals. I mean, that's what I believe in. And I think it's important for us to make sure that vote is exercised.
Neji, I think that is a very appropriate advice that you've just given to everybody, and especially the people who are new to the country, that you have to exercise. It's a responsibility. You have to exercise the vote. It's a sacred responsibility. You must utilize this responsibility. Otherwise, stop complaining.
Yeah, that's right.
ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਦਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਇਲੈਕਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਵੋਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਣਾ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ਿਕਾਇਤਾਂ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ।
Actually, Varji, ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਜਦੋਂ when some people really complain, I said, you know, put your name on the ballot.
There you
Right? Then you will realize it's not easy. Like I actually ideally want to say thank you to the people who put their name on the ballot. Because I think that is a real commitment in his own right to go and ask for a vote. And I think it's a privilege for the people to actually exercise that right that they have so earned.
Of course. One quick question before we go to the break. ਚਾਰਾਂ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਮੈਨੇਜ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹੋ, which one is your favorite?
Actually, the one that I have now fits with my experience in my private sector.
Okay.
You know, this is what I did in the private sector.
Right, right.
But the ministry that I will say, I mean, they all had their own good and bad points. But I think the ministry that I really enjoyed was the small and medium-sized businesses that I managed. Was very good ministry as well.
That was the second last.
Yeah, this was the first time we ever introduced the small-scale ministry, and small businesses are the backbone of this of the economy. And I had the privilege, and I. To go out and meet people and see businesses how well they are doing. Absolutely. And so was transportation was actually very good ministry as well.
Of course, of course. Yeah. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. We are just going to cut to a short break. We'll be right back and talk to Minister Thakur a little more. So stay tuned.